We're good.
All right. I'm sure we are getting ready now. Starting our chat with my main man. Hello once again and welcome to Inform Online Show right here with me, Gaspar Ngulube. Now, this is a show that talks about informed broadcasters, informed players, informed personnel in as far as football is concerned. And today, guess who is joining me is Michael MIYOBA, who is a renowned writer, sports writer for that matter. Now, journalists are known to be feeding people with information. They educate, they entertain, they inform. So apart from being an informed player or informed journalist, you can definitely be that person who inform people about a number of issues. Now, sport is one of the activities that has enjoyed, a coverage in terms of the media. And that's the reason why we decided to bring one man today who will talk to us about himself and the controversy around his interview with Coach Micho during a presser in reflection to Zambia's preparation for the 2022 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Algeria. On the 24th of this month, at the National Hero Stadium, journalists were called to this particular presser, and we did have a hint and a bit of information that came out that Micho did not take kindly some of the questions that were thrown at him by journalists, and one of which is the question that came from Michael MIYOBA himself. Now, Michael joins me. Michael, good morning to you.
Good morning, Gaspar. Of course, thank you so much for inviting me. I must say you are doing a very good job. Of course, I did watch the first inform which featured Coach Numbama. Of course, that was very important. I mean, we do appreciate your works as well. And of course, for me being here, I mean, it's my pleasure and I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate for your kind words as well. We are together in this media, you know what I mean? But let's start our conversation beginning with the hot issue, the inform story by the inform coach and inform journalist coming to play here. You were at the presser. I'll ask you by saying, where did that question that you asked Milutin Shodovic, the Zambia National Soccer Team coach, question come from? Is it from the editorial meeting, or maybe it is something that you conceived while the conference was going on?
Well, it's not something I thought of there and then, Gaspar. Honestly, this question came to me when Coach Micho named his final 23-member squad. Of course, when he announced that squad, he didn't come to the media. I mean, we all received the squad through a press release in the football association. To analyze the names he had called, I mean, that's when I got to have that question. I had a lot of questions to ask him, but of course, that was the most prominent one, considering what happened before this game against Algeria. Of course, you do remember we played Botswana. What happened between Coach Micho and Kabaso Chongo himself. So for me, I thought of that question when he named his squad, not after he had all his players in camp during that press briefing. And it's a question which I feel a lot of people are asking to ask. Of course, me having that privilege to represent people at that press briefing, I felt the need to ask that particular question, a question which a lot of people were asking, but of course didn't have the opportunity to ask the coach. So for me, question I thought of prior to that particular press briefing at the National Hero Stadium.
All right, before we get to the actual question, let me ask you, did you get what you wanted? Is it what you wanted in terms of the response? And also, did it satisfy you regards to the angle and the authority that probably were waiting on you to bring a well-cooked story from the press briefing?
Well, I'll tell you this. It was a response which was shocking for me. I didn't expect that response. Of course, there were two things which came out of Micho's answer. Of course, the nonsense part, and of course, the part where he picks only the best players to represent Zambia. That was a very good response. He didn't have to bag it up with the that's all nonsense, whatever you're talking about is nonsense. No, he had an answer, but the way he came out, for me, it just showed, I don't know, maybe it was pressure, but I did get why he couldn't understand where I was coming from. You get my point.
Was it the first time you're having such an issue with the coach or a source when you're asking a question and then they come out in a way that you wouldn't appreciate, especially with regards with the national team coach in Micho?
Well, that's why you're trained to ask questions which will give us. For me, it's not to ask the obvious. No, I have to ask questions. Represent the people's views. What direct to the and
I can hardly hear you. Michael. I can hardly hear you, and I would appreciate if you just go back on that particular answer. Probably you've gone a little bit further in terms of explaining, but just a recap on what you've said in few seconds, and then later on you finalize your thoughts.
Okay. I was saying the question I asked the coach. I mean, it was which I thought would make him feel uncomfortable. Hope you are getting me. Am I
that's right. Yes, you are.
I didn't think it's a question which would make him uncomfortable. But of course, as a reporter, I mean, I'm used to expecting anything, and of course, the way he came out gave me better news, so to say.
Yeah. So, do you still remember the question that you asked? Let's get to the question itself. What was the question? What are you talking about?
Well, the question was like there are concerns that you haven't been consistent when it comes to team selection. In the game against Algeria, how confident are you that you're going to beat Algeria with the same squad? Players like Kabasotongo, who you accused of being a weak link and a bad influence to the team. That is the question which got him annoyed, and of course came out. That's nonsense. Or what? And all the bad words which came to us.
Yeah.
The question.
Before we, I know it's a question that has got two sides. On your part as a reporter, you want to get something. The coach as well feels the question has come at the wrong time. Many people think Michael shouldn't have asked that question because we are only a few hours before we play Algeria, and that's a decider. You probably have to wait a little bit as a journalist who is passionate about your country. Do you feel that was the right question and it was at the right time?
Oh, yeah, I hear a lot of people have complained of the timing of come to me saying, well, timing is critical. That's that. Me, I felt I needed what the coach was thinking. I didn't want to. Of course, for a reporter like me, it doesn't matter when you well, it's critical when you get an opportunity, because I was looking for an opportunity. Period at press briefing. So at that particular briefing, it was the only time I could ask that particular question. And I feel it's not a question which can get you emotional. I didn't see the
No,
sensitivity.
but it did for the coach. It did. For you, it can't get you emotional, but for the coach, it did, because he was thinking, I did not include Kawaso Chongo in the other game against Botswana, okay? And whatever that was said around that, you know better. The fact that he was the weak link against Algeria and Zimbabwe, even other friendlies that Zambia played under the belt of Coach Micho. So now, whatever that was said, he decides to bring this player back into the team and have him as the captain of the side. For him, he feels, you're disturbing my plan, and probably the emotions of the player, including himself as a coach.
Well, he can feel that way, but I'll tell you this, Gaspar. When you are going to face a journalist, of course, he wasn't facing only me at that particular time. It was journalists from across the country. Others traveled from Kitwe, others traveled from Kabwe to attend that particular press briefing. So, as a coach, you expect any question. And for me, I didn't think it was the wrong time for me to ask that particular question, considering the fact that I was hoping to have an engagement with the coach prior to that press briefing. At the time, I thought it was the only opportunity for me to get the answers I was having before we played Algeria. I feel I feel it wasn't bad timing at all. The question was asked at the right time for me.
Don't you think you needed to remove certain words like weak link? You've not been consistent, and then it feels no. I've been consistent. If you've been following me, it's literally the same team that I've been using, according to him. It goes back to your research. How much research did you do for you to come up with that question? And don't you think you should have removed certain things from your question?
Well, Gaspar, I'll tell you this. For us reporters, we are our duty.
I can't get you. I'll ask you to come again on that, because people would love to get what you're saying, especially at the start of this answer.
I'm saying for us journalists, whatever we do, whatever questions we ask, we don't ask for ourselves. The people we represent, the people who coverage what to say. When you look at coaches, these are public figures, and whatever they do, they have to be accountable for it. And for me, I don't think. Yes, a lot of people have felt my timing was bad.
It's like you've got no heart for your country. You know what I mean? You just want to put pressure on the coach, the players, the fans, and Zambia to lose.
It's crazy, Gaspar, because I wasn't going to be a sports reporter if I didn't have passion for my polo. There was a time when my mom thought I would commit suicide because of the Chipolo. When you ask my mom, she will tell you how passionate I am when it comes to football. And of course, that is the main reason why I became a sports reporter. It all comes back from my passion for Chipolo. Before me being a reporter, before me being a journalist, I was a Chipolo fan. I had Chipolo fan.
You stopped being one.
No, I haven't stopped. I mean, I haven't stopped. Inside, still one, but I have to be cautious because I can't be emotional.
You have to be objective. Yes. Objectivity is required from any journalist. Yeah.
I don't have to do my work with any biasness. So coming to the question, well, a lot of people have said what they have said, but I feel a lot of people who have condemned the timing are people who I feel don't really understand what journalism is all about. I don't need to, I don't need to, as much as they say timing is key, but I mean, when you get an opportunity with a source who you don't see often, I mean, you get that chance and try to get the answers you need. So the opportunity, you know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Micho, today, I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know your friendship now. I don't know how close you've been with him. But do you think, from that backdrop, you are an enemy to him, or how is it like between you and him in the past, now, and going forward? Do you feel you always look at you with a red eye? And also, don't you think you need to understand him, because he's not the first coach to say nonsense, or call someone's question nonsense or whatever. We've had people like Alex Ferguson, the former Manchester United boss, who's got a huge success at Old Trafford, walking out of your press conference because he feels some questions are not relevant. You've got Jurgen Klopp, the now Liverpool coach. Jose Mourinho is one big example you can use. That's a stupid question.
Yeah.
Will you ask another question, or maybe I should go? Don't you think you need also to understand him probably? But start with the first one, your friendship, before you get to that.
Well, we were best of friends before that particular incident at Hero Stadium. Of course, there was one event at Football House. I did ask him a question he didn't like. What happened at Hero Stadium was not the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, something similar happened at Football House, but of course, at Football House, he did respond in a polite way. But of course, at the end of it, he said, he looked at me and said, "We know your agenda," like pointing at me, like that. What do you mean, dude? When I got to the office, I didn't have his line. I had to look for his number. From then on, we became more like I wouldn't say, but well, that particular incident that they.
I can hardly hear you. I can hardly hear you. Just repeat a little bit on what you've been saying. Not everything though, but you are saying you can't say you were buddies, you were good friends, because after getting his number, you will communicate at one point or the other. And other stuff that you can tell us.
Yeah, I was saying when the first interaction, where he accused me of, him knowing my agenda and all that, the way he came out, I just didn't like it. And that compelled me to look for his number. And when I got his number, I got to call him to interact, and of course, just for me to understand what is your agenda. When about him, he came through as Polo coach, so that got to me. Coming back to the issue at Hero Stadium, I thought for me, I felt it was just what.
It was just what? It was just what?
Pressure.
It was just pressure. Yes.
I feel it's pressure which made him to react like that. I know. Like people have said, the time might have been key. But I feel this is someone who feels I'm against him. I have been against him from day one, and maybe that's why he came out like that. But I mean, it will be good to know to note that after Zambia lost, drew 3-3 with Algeria.
And lost a spot at the 2022 Africa Cup of Nations.
Yeah. After the press briefing, people were thinking I would ask him a question, a follow-up on Kabasocho, which I didn't. I mean, I didn't want to ask any nonsense question again. I just listened to the whole press briefing. But after it was done, as we are now heading to our various homes, he was walking in front of me, and when he came out of the stadium and stood at the door, because I was behind. So when where he was, he fist bumped me and hugged me and dragged me to the side. We talked.
Oh, wow.
Apologized. He said sorry for the way he came out, and of course for the failure to qualify for the AFCON. He talked of him wanting to have qualified so that he can be part of the 24 coaches to compete at the AFCON. So after that, I mean, for now we are cool, but I mean, it's just knowing and understanding each other better. You get the point.
You may think the result was influenced by the pressure that Micho was talking about during the presser a day before kickoff. But I can tell you, those are some of the things that you expect in a game of football. And from what Michael is saying, is a question that he developed the moment the team to face Algeria was announced. And obviously, the rest is history, because we would have expected journalists to ask such questions, because all the time you have got a particular angle that you're looking at. And in this case, Michael, he chose that angle to make sure that he finds out from the coach why bring back the likes of Kabaso Chongo, whom you said was a weaker link in the previous games that we played against Algeria and Zimbabwe. Not forgetting the friendlies as well. In Micho's words, he says the player lacks something. The bond between such a player, in this case Kabaso, and the young players leaves much to be desired. And when you look back to the mistakes and how the goals were scored, it is something that he talked about at length in an interview with Robert Marawa, one of the most celebrated journalists or anchors on the continent of Africa. Michael, I can see you coming back. Are you there?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm just trying to cover up on our breaking network that we did have. And we were talking about after the game against Algeria, the coach was walking in front of you, you were coming behind, and you had to face each other. He greeted you with a hug. What did he say? What did you talk about, with him?
Well, it was all about for me. I felt it was all about saying sorry. I felt realized that,
Who said sorry? Is it you or him?
well, my plan was not to talk to him on that day. I didn't want to talk to him, but he greeted me and of course dragged me to the side where we for the way he responded to my question. He said he not that he hates Kabaso Chongo. He likes the player who is a good player. He said sorry for not qualifying for the AFCON, considering the fact that he also wanted to qualify so that he can be part of the coaches. I mean, to compete at the Africa Cup of Nations. And of course, for me, I did say sorry to him for which I feel was wrong, and that's I did apologize for. Not about the question, because I feel he didn't understand my question, and up to now I still feel my question.
What was the apology for again? I did not get that.
The what?
What was the apology for on your part?
On my part, the apology was on the timing of
the time at which the question came.
And I did explain to him that my question not to unsettle him or maybe
to put pressure.
Yeah. But the impression he got, because if in his explanation, you could. I'm trying to press a panic button on him, which is not the thing. Was not for me to put him under.
Right. I'll ask you to mute your video and then unmute it again. I cannot see you, but I'm sure when you press on your video section, the camera section there, you press it and then remove it again so that I can be able to see you. Just trying to fix one or two things. But the next question will be, do you think that question did give pressure to the Chipolo Polo boys? Because it was in public domain. The coach, obviously, the starting 11, puts the players there, the formation. Do you think it contributed to him changing formations? At the start, first 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we saw him changing from 3-5-2 to 4-4-2, which was a little bit of a challenge for the players at the start, conceding 2 goals through the left and right flanks.
Can you see me now?
No, I can't, but you can still go ahead. I'm sure people are able to see you at the moment, and they will be able to see you. So, did you get the question?
Yeah, sure. I did get the question. I did get the question. For me, I felt the pressure the coach had. Our national team, or maybe as a country, we put ourselves in a bad predicament when we drew when we lost to Botswana. Ourselves under pressure. That's when the national team puts itself under pressure. That's when Micho himself put himself under pressure. The moment we lost to Botswana in Botswana, and of course going to the game against Algeria, I mean, you're coming from a defeat to a smaller team, and of course you're facing the African champions. I feel that put him under pressure. And of course, when you analyze the game, the first 20 minutes we were down, we were disorganized. The whole team was disorganized. And of course, my part, I don't blame my question. I don't think it's because of my questioning. I feel it's because of the tactical approach in the first 20 minutes of the game, which
but you can't run away from it. Maybe what was talked about, and he started thinking what people would say, bringing Kabaso, and I must deliver. He had to, employ a particular formation. Even him getting it wrong in the first 20 minutes or so. A fan will say that question contributed. Michael contributed.
Well, I don't think so, Gaspar. I don't think so. I will tell you this: the planning, I'm sure the planning for Algeria started way before that. That press briefing was done a day before the game. Done a day before. So for people to think that my questioning put the coach, no, we're playing a better team. You get, we're
The
playing
defending champions
defending champions of
of
Africa.
AFCON.
You wouldn't be okay. In as much as you would want to be confident, you put yourself there thinking, well, you tell yourself all sorts of things, thinking you beat Algeria. Yes, they are beatable, but when you are disorganized, like our team, for me personally, I was thinking after being in charge of Chipolo Polo, our national team coach may have at least found players which he feel can represent the national team. But of course, it's been try and error. You see, we try this player, we bring in this one. You know for a fact that Munyachi was playing for the very first time under Coach Micho, which he 1 year he has been with the national team. He didn't have a goalkeeper. And the guy who has been there for a long time, Munyachi, has been around for a but he had to be tested during a very important game against Algeria. I mean, you don't do experiments at the final game. So I don't think my questioning was the reason for the pressure the coach was going through. No, I don't think so.
You've got no role to playing the results that Zambia recorded. It was themselves on the field to play. You are not playing.
If at all we won that particular game, I don't think I would have been talking about this, Caspar.
That's right. Agreed. Now moving forward.
Yeah.
Are we gonna expect a different Michael or the same Michael who asked a nonsensical question to continue in the next briefings, whether it's Micho or any other? What has changed about you, especially when people say you must bring questions at the right time and you need to read the mood as well?
Well, maybe next time I will want to think of the timing. I will have to consider the timing. But questions, I mean, expect such questions and more. I had a lot of questions even after the game against Algeria. My questions have been well. Right now we are focusing on the World Cup. Yeah.
The